Hello! I've had the most blissful day today, and I chalk it up to this phrase that came through in meditation today, which is I expect to enjoy the best that this life has to offer. What a vibe that is. So, within that is experiences. And for me, at this stage, that means seeing and alchemizing and directing and intending and entering deep meditation and finding that oneness, finding that inky blackness of nothing, no one, nowhere, as Dr. Joe says. And love and joy and that space, that realm of the non-physical where we want for nothing because we're whole and complete and satisfied and loved and joyful, and life gets to be good. And we find everything within. We have heard that before somewhere. Where have we heard? Everything is within. All over the place. Start in the Bible. And we know that deeply. The meaning that when we go within, when we get quiet, we find that we are connected to Source, to our higher self, to the divine. We feel God coming to and through us, the universe, and that God is present. And is God limited? No. Is the universe limited? No. We have access to the energy that creates worlds flowing through us. We have access to powerful intuition. And it's just such an incredible way to plug in and live. So coming back to my specific reality around, which is a reflection of within, and knowing that nothing external to me will ever make me whole. Think about that. Nothing external will ever make you whole or be the solution. It's fun and it's joy and it provokes thought and it is endlessly pleasurable, and that is why we are here. And it's through the different polarities that I have experienced the most joy I've ever experienced, transmuting the most suffering I'd ever experienced. And when we give ourselves access to the subconscious, that's a great way in. But the powerful, the power, the unlimited, the expansive, the blissful, the joyful life comes from going within and plugging in. And if you're not happy here anywhere and in any situation, you're not going to be happy there. Yes, there are some certain situations that are toxic, and when we change them, we definitely feel happier and freer. But I mean, like, if you think this job sucks, but that job will be better, yes, in some ways, but you won't really be happy unless you can be happy here. Because no matter what your circumstances are, if you can find happy, if you can find something, if you can find a flower growing out of a pile of poop and find the beauty in it, that is the vibe. That's the solution frequency. That is being happy independent of your circumstances. So if you're not happy without it, you're not going to be happy with it. Because right now, chances are, at some point, you have everything you've ever wanted from an earlier point in life. And is this the exact answer? I love the Jim Carrey saying that I wish everybody could be rich and famous and they could see that that isn't it. So now we'll just have to trust him and that blissful answer he gave us to benefit from. But we can extrapolate that, thinking of I will be happy when, how many times have we said that? And I get it. Are you in an ecstatic state right now? Chances are there's something in your life that you felt that way about and that you don't feel about now. So you can see what he's saying, and you can see what I mean about if you're not happy now, you won't be happy when. You choose to be happy independent because you're happy. That is totally separate choice. And that is like a mind-blowing realization in itself, that you don't need your external world to make you happy. It comes from within. That is the most liberating, empowering, blissful shift ever. So if you're there, you know what I'm talking about and you can lean into it. And like, yeah, absolutely. And if you're not, I invite you to play around with meditation and clear your thoughts and find some space and lean into that and ask to be shown things, because you are the creator of your reality and you can find your way here in the dark, and you will be light bulb on, like euphoric when you do. But the code, the shortcut is if you want it. If you don't necessarily even know what it is, but you know that there's something you want, you feel the need, there's something in your life that you're looking for, I'm going to save you a lot of time and tell you that I would bet it's plugging in your power cord. It's revving up this avatar into the next level of existence. It's like you found a Ferrari in the garage and you got in it and you put that key in the ignition and you turned it on and you plugged in the way I'm talking about, and you backed it out and you're like, what? This isn't just for show. This does something. Imagine the thrill of driving that Ferrari down the road. That's the answer. It's the best thing ever. The answer to everything you're searching for, I guarantee it's us. It's within us. It's within you. And it's neutral. It's that 12 o'clock. It's not swaying too much in either direction, out of polarity, out of the extremes, but labeling things as good or bad, but inherently everything is neutral. And until we give it that meaning, when we can see that things change in us and what we are attracting by auditing what's in front of us in our reality, every single thing we're interacting with, and upgrading our vibration by removing things that aren't serving us and being in the vibration of where we're going, to be more in alignment with our soul and with our higher desires, we realize that we have right now, right here, right now, everything. We realize that we are the creators of our reality. So we realize that we have keys to the subconscious, and by looking at our reality, we can get into the driver's seat, out of autopilot programming, by entering into a practice of meditation. That is how to get in the driver's seat. And then getting to know ourselves and really seeing ourselves by seeing our reflection, the internal, our beliefs externally, which is in our reality. Every interaction, every person, everything that happens is a reflection. The universe is mental. This is a physical simulation. Okay, so let's go deep for a minute, taking that thought for a minute into the shadows, into the darkness, what a lot of people spend their entire life stuffing and hiding from and disconnecting from and blaming and judging in others. When we blame the external reality and the things we don't like, for this example, this is incredibly empowering when you get this. And if it doesn't make sense, that's fine. It's a peg for later. Just keep going. And if it does make sense, you'll see. This means that the meanest person you will ever encounter, the harshest criticism, the most blame you ever get, the most shame, the most guilt you receive, the most manipulation that you're going to encounter, yeah? Are you getting it? Are you seeing it? It's a reflection of what's within. In the world, you'll see what is within you, how you are. It's a frequency match. It's what's within you. That's you you're seeing and judging. So either it's you or you've judged it, but either way, it's in you because both of those things align with your frequency, which you will experience what you judge. You will continue to attract it until that pattern ends. And it only ends when you've learned the compassion or the lesson and you no longer judge it. Okay, so let's pump the brakes a little bit and add a huge factor to remember with this truth that you are innocent. You came preloaded with, I think they say it goes back 14 generations ancestrally in epigenetics, and we've got soul imprints and my beliefs and lots of things, basically, that you didn't consciously choose. So, love for yourself, self-love, innocence. This is a unique experience that you will only ever experience. Only you will ever have these set of programs and keys through this lens, through this avatar, through this person, born at this place, on this day, in this lifetime, with this name. Nobody will ever be like you. Billions of people on the planet, and you are 100% unique. You will only ever experience this game from your world, from these eyes, right now, completely unique to you. So when we can step back from our focus, our hyper focus into this reality, and step back into our beingness and see the autopilot things coming out of our mouth, and we have our eyes open, which happens only once we can do it with our eyes closed, which happens only once we can do it in meditation, which happens once we become aware of the present moment, which happens when we keep becoming conscious that we were unconscious, which happens with practice until we wake up that's when we regularly no longer fall asleep. And if we do, we catch it. This is where every single day we plug in and we get into that alignment and we keep playing the game from here, because game changed. Being unconscious in victim mentality, it's not even fun anymore. It's not even satisfying. You feel the limits of it. It's like wanting to play a really realistic driving game and instead you're playing Pac-Man. It's just satisfying. It's just not satisfying and it's limited. So when you get a taste for heaven, for the limitless, for the unlimited, for the expansion of joy of just how good life gets to be, this is where we choose love. We choose us. And when we see the love in us, we see it in the world reflected back to us. We choose to plug in and meditate and get into alignment. And we realize that at all times, our frequency we're emitting, which is mirrored back to us in the world, that aspect of the game is the most important, because meditation gets us to be able to see it with practice, and it gets us into a coherent frequency. And we all know what an incoherent frequency does and looks like, because chances are we have all lived it, unless you came in perfect. I very much came in with very much incoherence for a very long time and lots of repeat patterns because I wasn't seeing it. I was unconscious in victim state. So frequency does it, we live it. But all of those things lead to the most epic game in my life now. The waking up to that and the seeing it is like gives you chills. It's the most incredible thing. You take your life burning down and you alchemize it within into this internal fire, and it gets so good. Because we've all felt what it lives like, tortured, living in hell. And when you get a glimpse of heaven and you realize that you can create heaven and step into heaven and be in alignment from heaven and be okay, independent of your external circumstances, because you're okay. And then when you radiate your being from this place, imagine what changes in your reality. So you're no longer trying to distract yourself, which we all do to try to cope with the suffering of being trapped and defined by your external circumstances, feeling separate, feeling alone. That all changes. Powerless, it's gone. Can you imagine how good it gets to be in coherence, unified? How much love and heart-brain coherence radiating from your body. When you're in that state of creation, and we know that our internal state is reflected to us externally, what shows up? Incredible things show up. What pours through our body is powerful. It's unlimited. It's a fountain filling our cup. It's spilling over. And from here we enter our world, our specific reality to play without separation. It's all in you. You beautiful genius, you are brilliant. And this is the part where we get goosebumps, because we get to blow our own mind for how good life gets to be. And we open the door to the magical, the mystical world, to the life that used to be just mystery schools and ancient secrets that needed like a decade of initiation to be able to even grasp what's going on. We're now approaching the consciousness where we can do the work and we can enter ourselves and we can see others doing it, and we can do it, and we can do anything, because nothing is impossible to the one who wants it. That's literally my family crest. How much of a game piece is that? The gems you find are epic, and you right now, I guarantee it, are surrounded by epic hints, hidden as ordinary things. So go play and find them and keep going and keep pushing and feel where you're being guided, because your life is the best, most incredible life you could ever want or imagine. I believe that it's right, it's yours, and it's up to you to uncover that why and give it the meaning and find the game and connect to source and keep getting the whispers and not just living, but living. Because we can be elevated into this higher existence around us. We can level up and unlock new levels and new powers and new abilities and new talents and new places and new desires. Because being in this world, but not of it, not locked into this physical plane, but creating with it from the mental plane, the spiritual plane, this is when the game gets so good. Each puzzle piece is clicking in and you just want more and more and more. So have fun and go get that beautiful day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being the other side of this conversation and for passing it along when you think of somebody, because that is your intuition. It's not an accident. The internet can be a really quiet place, and it doesn't have to be. It can be a place for community and a place to gather, and we are not alone. So with that, I want to invite you to respond to my offering and share something in the comments to brighten somebody's day. Share an epiphany. It will get where it needs to go. And if this video is valuable to you, give it a like so I know what kind of content is most enjoyed. And I just hope you have an incredible day today.